Hello and welcome to a video on convert BPR to Geo. In this scene you can see that there are mushrooms populated throughout the ground. Now these mushrooms were created in two ways. So when I move the scene, you can see that the mushrooms were done by using micromesh on a single plane. But you can see that these mushrooms are physically here in the scene, so if we were to switch to our move brush and select our mushrooms, we can actually start to adjust these and move these around. So what I want to show is how we made this single plane have mushrooms and then convert these planes into the mushrooms themselves. So the first thing we want to do is I'm going to click on my tool palette and select the plane 3D. With the plane 3D selected, I'm going to turn on polyframe mode so that you can see all the polygons that are in this plane. I'm actually going to go down to the initialize state here. I'm going to put my H divide and my V divide down to 2 and 2. This will create just one face for the plane. I'm going to go ahead and create polymesh, and now I have a mesh that I can use for an insert brush. So let's select any of the insert brushes. In this case I'm going to select the insert sphere. Go to my brush palette, open up modifiers, and where there's the sphere, I'm going to click this and click on our plane. Now I've just created a insert plane brush. So now what I can do is back in our scene, we can start populating our ground with mushrooms. So let's go ahead and put a couple of the mushrooms on the ground. Now before I do that, there's one thing I'm going to want to change. When I draw out these planes with inside ZBrush, the brush by default is going to respect normals. So you can see here the planes laying flat. I want the planes to lay up the way they are within the scene. So to do that, I'm going to use my camera angle, and in my picker I'm going to choose, instead of one's orientation, I'm going to choose the orientation that I want, and I'm going to use the image or my document as my orientation. So now I'm just going to click and drag up, click and drag up, click and drag up. Now because we're dealing with planes, at any point in time I can also click on any of these planes and make adjustments with my transpose tools. So what I need to do now is separate these three planes from the ground. So I'm going to click on these planes and select them out so that they're hidden from the rest of the scene. And then in my subtool palette, I'm going to click on the split hidden button, which will separate those three planes from the red mushrooms that are actually solid here. Now you can see we've created a new subtool with these mushrooms. So the next step is, in our geometry subpalette, click on micromesh and select our mushrooms. You're going to see that the mushrooms come in automatically. We'll put ourselves in a solo mode so that we're only looking at these mushrooms. Now I need to orient our mushrooms. So this is what our spin edge button will do. I'm just going to click this until the mushrooms are facing the right direction. Now when I render this out, I'm going to have these mushrooms. But I don't want to just stop there. I don't want to just have these mushrooms at render time. I now also want to have the physical mushrooms so I can adjust them. All I need to do for this is click on our convert to BPR to geometry button, and ZBrush will convert the micromesh into real geometry. So now I can grab any of my brushes and make these, even though they were the exact same mushroom, change the look and feel of them so they don't look exactly the same, or even paint on them and do what I want with them. So now when I bring back my entire scene, you can see that these mushrooms are in the scene. And that's using the BPR convert to Geo button. Thank you for watching this video, and please continue to watch more on pixellogic.com.